Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where I come up with healthy options of the things that you love to eat. Now, just so you know, I am not a cook. That is not my expertise. I am just an everyday person that knows that she needs to eat better. So I pick things that are not complicated because I don't do complicated. First of all, really quick, I apologize for the quick delay. I was having a tough technical difficulty, but we got it working, so we are good to go. Now, this is super easy. I don't know about you, but I've always loved teriyaki. The problem with teriyaki is that it usually contains a ton of sugar. So we're using an alternative today. This is a recipe from another teriyaki company, but I'm using a different product. So they can, they'll probably be like, that's ours. So really quickly, we're gonna get started today. It doesn't take more than a few minutes. You can cook this ahead, make this for a lunch to take with you to work. It works out great. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I've already sliced and diced some chicken breast. Now it calls for 1.5 pounds. I'm not quite getting all of that in there, just for time purposes, but I do have my chicken ready to go. So I'm gonna get that in a hot pan. Now it calls for sesame oil. I'm actually using something I already have on hand, which is coconut oil. A great option would be macadamia nut oil. You wanna make sure that you use a healthier oil option because some of them, the way they're processed does matter. I've gotten a lot of questions about vegetable oil lately because I keep posting that it's horrific for you, and people are like, why? They say it's heart healthy. Well, it's really not, because it's processed with industrial chemicals and bleached, of all weird, crazy things. So it really does come down to how it's processed. You want to have an oil that is cold pressed, and it's just a healthier version for you. Okay, it's gonna be a little loud here, but I'm gonna get this cooking. I'm gonna cook the chicken thoroughly, and the best part about having it already cut is that it will cook a little bit faster. So that is great. Everything else is also already prepared, so it's easy to make. I'm gonna wash my hands here right in front of the camera. Kind of an awkward kitchen to be doing this in when I need to use the stove, but it works, so we're doing that. Now today I am using a little bit of coconut oil because again, that's what I have on hand. But it's up to you as to what works best. Just please don't use vegetable oil or canola oil. All right, so I'm gonna get that cooking. Now, really quickly, I wanna show you, get this flipped over just a little bit. I am cooking this on medium-high heat, and I do wanna get it cooked thoroughly. Of course, if you know anything about making sure that you don't get sick from the things that you use, you wanna cook it to about 165 degrees internally. So while that's cooking, I wanna show you what I'm using. Now, this is a sugar-free teriyaki sauce, but let me give you a quick caveat. Just because it's sugar-free does not necessarily make it super healthy. I'm just choosing, right? We kind of have to balance that out with what's a better option. I love this brand. I really do. Hughes, I find it locally. As a matter of fact, even our local Walmart, not my favorite store, carries a lot of their products. This is probably not, again, not the worst option, not the best option. You do have to read the ingredient list. Just because it promotes that it's a healthier version of something does not necessarily make it so. Some of Hughes products, when it comes to their vegetable or their salad dressings, do contain vegetable oil. Things I'm not really super happy about. This one's not horrible. It's got some sesame seed oil. It does have xanthan gum. Some people they can't use that. They're sensitive to that. And some sucralose, which again, Splenda, not my favorite, but again, I'd rather do that than something that is full sugar at this point. All right, so we're just gonna keep cooking this a little bit. Just browning the chicken. All right. It's super fast, and then we're just gonna take that off the stove, and then we're gonna start with some of the vegetables and things that we've got to go with that. All right, I also have already prepared, they call it a wrap. It kind of just looks like, a lettuce bow. No, it's not a bad thing, right? I love this. I've taken a lot of things that I love, even like hamburgers. Listen, red meat is not bad for you, right? We're told it is. That is not true. What happens is we eat what we ate. Can you follow that? We eat what we ate. So if you're eating meat or beef that was grain-fed, grain-finished, you're eating grain, right? And that can cause inflammation. So at our house, we tend to buy grass-fed, grass-finished. Not easy to find, but there you go. Now, so what we've done is really take a lot of things that we love, like beef, and make our beef patties, and then we use it as a lettuce wrap instead of using all of the horrible flour, bread options that spike your insulin, okay? So you can put anything in a lettuce wrap. It works out great. All right. It's only gonna be about 1 other minute, then we're actually gonna take this off the heat. and put it aside until it's time to add it back to the rest of the ingredients. Oh, I love chicken. Actually, so I've been eating chicken for a very long time. One of the difficulties is when you get bored, right? We all need a variety. There is no reason you can't find healthier, great ideas. Pinterest is my friend, guys. Now, if you have a minute, go to Fillmore Fitness on Pinterest, and you'll come up with all kinds of great stuff. And for those of you that are my clients, I've probably already hooked you up to the boards, the Meals with Melissa board, so you can have a lot of these recipes right alongside. Now, if you're not part of that little group there, you can find all of my back episodes on my Fillmore Fitness YouTube channel. Definitely subscribe. That way, anytime something gets uploaded and posted, you can see it, right? Hit that notification bell, and that way you have access to everything that I've done for the last, 6, 7 years? Okay. And for those of you that are really struggling with your nutrition, you're not sure how nutrition really works, I have a new membership platform for $5 a month. You get all the quick, down and dirty education about how food biologically works in your system. It's great. I will have the link down below, and you guys can jump on there. $5 a month, and again, new content every week. All right, this is just about ready. Now, some of the ingredients, obviously you want to do things to taste. So if something was better for you, pick that, choose, throw something in, out, add something in. The other option if you're not a big fan of teriyaki, they do have an orange sauce. I believe there's a ginger sauce. There's lots of options there. You don't have to stick with teriyaki if that's just not, your game. All right. So this is about done. I'm making a mess. At least I always clean up after myself. Okay, I think we just about got that. I'm going to add it back to the pan in a minute. So it's going to be okay. That's going to cool off for just a sec. All right. I'm going to throw this in my bowl over here, and we're going to start over. All right. So actually, I've kind of come up with these new pans that are Blue Diamond. Teflon is not actually a great option because it eventually leaches into your food, scrapes off, and it can cause some health issues. I'm going to add just a smidge more of my coconut oil. It calls for another tablespoon. I don't think I need a full one because some of the oil that was on there from the chicken is still there, so not a big deal. I think I'm just going to add just a little bit more. Same pan. It's cooked, and you're going to cook the vegetables. So don't freak out that you've been putting raw chicken in there. It's cooked. All right. If you've ever had to get a food handler's permit, you kind of know how this all rolls. All right. So to that, I'm going to add 1 clove of garlic minced. Now, personally, it's not that I'm lazy, but yeah, I just don't want to take the time to mince garlic. I usually buy it already minced. We actually had a great big full one from Costco, and when I went to use it, it was gone. So, got some other people who like to cook in my household, which is not a bad thing. All right, so I'm going to add, and I believe a clove, when it's already minced, is about a teaspoon. Not worried about if I add too much because I love garlic, so not a big deal. Just make sure that the one that you're going to kiss is also eating garlic so that you don't have bad breath. All right, so I'm going to add a teaspoon, maybe a heaping teaspoon. Why not? Heaping teaspoon of the minced garlic to the pan. Okay, get that moving around. I'm also going to add about 2/3 cup of green onion. Now, again, I will put the recipe down below so that you can follow this. This is a full recipe with the exception of the chicken. I didn't quite do the 1.5 pounds. I've already chopped my green onion. Love green onion. Onion is one of those things as a kid, I thought, right? And then as I got older, I started to like certain things, except tomato. I don't know why. I like everything made with tomato, ketchup, pizza sauce, salsa. I just don't like fresh tomato. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to just saute that for about 30 seconds here, not very long. Just let it saute for just a sec, and then I'm going to add 1 large red bell pepper. Now, I guess you could use green, but hey, it gives it some color, so why not? I'm going to add that to this little mixture there. Give it some pretty color. All right, I'm also going to add 8 ounces. I bought an 8-ounce can of water chestnuts. That's one of those things I don't use very often, so I definitely had to go pick that up. And I've actually chopped them up. Okay, so I bought the sliced water chestnut, and I've diced them. Catch that. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to add that to my mix. I'm going to cook it for about 2 minutes. Really just kind of let it simmer a little bit, heat up. Give it a second. Let it steam. All right. So again, now I'm going to add some of the teriyaki sauce. Now the actual recipe calls for about a cup. I'm probably not going to quite use that much. It does, at this point, you're supposed to use about 2/3 cup to coat the ingredients, and then use a little bit to drizzle afterwards. You know what? Do it to taste, guys. This is more where your preferences come in, and why not? Really, when you are trying to build a lifestyle, this is really more about finding your groove, right? Take a recipe. If you don't like something in it, change it. If you have a great recipe that you love, but it's not a healthier version of something, can you swap out a couple ingredients and make it work for you? Honestly, in the end, it comes down to, will you eat it, right? Because if it doesn't taste good, if you don't like it, you're not going to stick with it. I find it really funny that when I work with meal plans with my clients, they'll be like, well, you can add things, if you need to, because if I have to, I'll eat it. I'm like, nah, that's not going to work. Because if you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. I would know that from, experience. I'm not a huge fan of cottage cheese. So I can do it once or twice, but that's not something I'm going to eat on a daily basis. Now, yogurt, yeah, that's phenomenal. Love that. All right, so I'm cooking this for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to drizzle quite a bit of the teriyaki sauce with it. Again, it's sugar-free. The problem with a lot of the sauces these days is that they do tend to contain a lot of sugar. Ketchup, spaghetti sauce, salad dressing, things you wouldn't normally think of as containing a lot of sugar really do, and that can be a problem. So, if you're not paying attention to the ingredient list, a lot of times even the nutrition label will say 0 sugar or 0 added sugar, and then you start to look at the ingredients and go, wait a minute, okay, anything ending in ose is sugar. It lists several things that end in ose. How does this not contain sugar? It's because they're following loopholes. They want you to be addicted to it. They want you to want to come back and buy it. It tastes good, right? That's called mouthfeel, bliss point. They want you, it's highly palatable, right? So they want you to come back and buy more. It's all about the dollar. Honestly, it's actually cheaper to eat healthy because you can grow it. You can, put your own meals together. Put your own recipes together. All right, so this is just about ready for that teriyaki sauce. I've actually always been a big fan of teriyaki sauce, so it works great for me. All right, so I'm just gonna about to have a top tooth. I'm gonna eyeball it. Normally I'm not a fan of eyeballing it, but for today, just because I know how much I'm using of everything, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. So I'm gonna let that cover that. And even the price on this, you guys, is not really that bad. Go to the store, check it out. If you don't have a local grocery store that carries it, check Amazon. Because although Amazon is not my favorite for many reasons, usually you can find most of this on there. Or you can go directly to the company's website that produces the product and see if you can order it straight through them. Not a bad idea, right? Okay, so make sure I've got everything in here so far. All right, so I'm gonna let that heat up for just a minute, and then we're going to add a couple more ingredients. We're going to add some shredded carrot. Now, I bought it shredded. You guys, the conveniences that we have today is pretty incredible. So, convenience to really cooking things should not be an obstacle for you. Make ahead. Most of us learn to batch cook. I don't know about you, I'm busy. Listen, I'm building my own empire. I still have kids at home. I have a grandbaby. I am running like a crazy person. I have some other obligations going on right now. I gotta make it easy, because if I don't, I technically don't eat, right? And what do most of us do if we don't have time? We tend to go through the drive-thru. I learned not to do that a long time ago, partially because I don't like how I feel when I do that. Turn this down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna add the chicken back along with those carrots. So here we go, almost done, guys. Add my chicken. Now normally, again, this would be way, way more chicken. So if you wanna make a full batch for your family, by all means, make it super simple. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, yeah, but my kids won't eat this. Why? Why won't your kids eat this? Listen, if you've got your kids hooked on macaroni and cheese, you're setting them up to be in a position that you've been in, which is, we don't feel very good, we're not super healthy. I had a client once who I caught this person shopping at the grocery store, and this person, who shall not be named, was like, don't look at my cart. I'm like, okay, well, I did. He's like, well, that's not for me. This is for my kids. And I thought, listen, don't you want them to be healthy? You are their best example. So I learned from my parents. I learned what to eat, what not to eat. Not actually the best situation. So I've actually had to teach myself over time. All right, so I'm gonna add some carrots. And it's not a bad idea to make it an adventure, right? Just, you know, have them try it. It's fun. If you expose your kids to healthy ingredients while they're young, they're more likely to actually eat those when they get older. Now, you cannot block them and prevent them from the sugar and the garbage and things like that. You have to allow them to try that, because otherwise they're gonna go outside of your vision to their friend's house and they're gonna binge on it. So you want them to make good choices. My youngest is getting there. He's really getting there. He knows how it feels when he doesn't eat well. He's starting to pay attention to those things, so that's awesome. My older kids, they're already there. All right, so we're gonna let that heat up for a second. Just wanna make sure all the ingredients are hot. Now, again, you can make this in advance. You can take it with you to work, portion control that out in advance. I'm all about being really on the ball, being really efficient. I want the biggest bang for my buck. I don't wanna waste a lot of time. I'm busy. I need to be ahead of the game. So if you pre-portion this out, maybe you put the chicken in a separate container, your lettuce in another container, throw it on a salad instead, whatever works best for you. Figure it out. This is about you finding your groove, which might be a little different than mine. All right, so we're about ready for this. Now again, I have my lettuce ready to go. Now, not the biggest lettuce leaves I could find, but this is gonna work for today. It's actually what I just have on hand. So we're gonna add the chicken to it and we're gonna garnish it with a couple of things. So, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. I'm gonna grab a spoon. All right. Somewhere I've got serving spoons, but you know, can't always find the things that I want. All right, so I'm gonna dish this into my lettuce leaves. Oh, this looks so good. Nice thing here is that because I've only added a little bit of chicken, I'm actually kind of picking out the chicken. Protein is a really, really important of your nutrition, because protein, number one, is a thermogenic nutrient. Your body has to actually heat up hotter to break it down and utilize the nutrients, but also because it provides the building blocks in order to build and maintain muscle and repair tissue. Now, your body can actually also use it as energy. It can turn it into glucose. Really don't want it to do that, okay? We want to use it for that muscle that we just talked about. Not a bad thing. And most people, especially as we get older, most people don't eat enough protein. That is something that I've quickly found out working quite a bit with nutrition. All right, so, ooh, they look so pretty. You know, you have to, you eat with your eyes first, right? So you want it to look great, you want it to be pretty, you want it to look appetizing. So you want to make sure you do a good job. You don't want it to all be the same color, right? You need, the variety of colors is going to be a variety of nutrients, right? And that's going to be super important. So on top of this, for garnish, I'm going to use a little bit of chopped cashews, because I love cashews. Now these are just raw cashews. The problem with roasted and salted is it's usually roasted in vegetable oil. You can roast your own, but you know, that can be a problem. So I'm gonna use a little bit of that. You can also use peanuts, but a lot of people have allergies, so we're really careful with that. Okay, I'm also gonna add a little bit more of the fresh green onion. I'm gonna make it pretty and I'm gonna show it to you. It's all good, it's all good. Okay, I'm also gonna add a little bit of sesame seed. Okay, I buy these in bulk at my local grocery store. They have a whole bulk section, so I can get as little or as much as I need. I'm not wasting money. Okay, and then I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of that teriyaki sauce back on top. So what I'm gonna do is put it in a tablespoon, and then that way I can control how much goes on there. Sweet. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Again, super easy to put into MyFitnessPal. Check out what the macros and the calories are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, you can actually put recipes into MyFitnessPal, and that way you do it once, and all you have to do is bring up, say, Melissa's sugar-free teriyaki chicken lettuce wrap, and then you pick how many servings, and you enter it. It's super, super easy, especially if it's something that you eat frequently. There you go. Super pretty, right? Didn't know I was a cook, did you? Well, it's because I'm not. I just pretend to be for the camera. No, this is a great way to make something super easy that tastes great. Again, we're looking to make things that you love to eat anyway. We're just looking for a healthier version of it. So if you have a great recipe you would love to share, please send it my way. I get really great ideas from you guys. I get my best ideas from you. So you can either drop a comment down below. You can message me directly at Facebook Messenger. Don't forget to hop on YouTube if you want to see back episodes. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get all the new ones. You can also check out my other platforms. Instagram, I'm all over the place at this point. Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, which I find fascinating, and also on my new member platform. Subscribe there for $5 a month, and you're gonna get a great bunch of easy to understand education. So have an incredible day, you guys. Have an incredible weekend. Hopefully you're out enjoying the sun. I'm going to go visit some great people today. So have a great one and stay healthy, my friends.